Talk about the task of going up against Gerhardt, defending him. How do you,
Well, it isn't just defending Toby Gerhardt, it's defending the whole package. You know, they do such a, as I kind of said earlier, they do such a great job of moving their formations and their tight ends around and their fullbacks and trying to create seams and space. And he has great patience and vision to wait for those seams, and then, you know, he has that power and quickness when he does see it to gain yards and to break tackles, and they do an excellent job. And he in particular also just running the football does a great job with his size and strength of protecting his legs and gaining yards when they're not there, all of that.
If you could get a quarterback with a little more mobility, would you tweak your offense a little bit, you think,
Sure.
this year?
Absolutely.
You thinking about it?
Well, you know, it depends on our personnel, but there's no question that's always something that would, you know, you'd like to be able to do to some degree. I don't ever think we do it as much as a lot of people do.
Kevin's always talked about, you know, not having that aspect since Jason White went down. Is that, I mean, something you envisioned you do more of when you brought him in here, and maybe it's been disappointing you haven't been able to do more of that?
Not necessarily. You're talking as though we haven't. We set an NCAA record a year ago in scoring and moving the ball. So I think we've had Heisman Trophy quarterbacks and running backs, and, you know, so am I disappointed? No, not at all in what we've done.
Are you having to move Moses back to running back?
That's a possibility. But you guys are getting into spring ball, and this hasn't, you know, he's playing receiver.
Well, for the bowl game.
No. Why would we do that for the bowl game?
There was stuff going around about Calhoun being hurt too.
I just saw him running the ball in full speed yesterday, so I don't know what that stuff would be.
So you don't have a shoulder injury?
No. Not as of yesterday, but today's a new day.
But you won't have Miller or Jonathan for this
No.
game?
But 3 ought to be plenty. We went through the remainder of the year that way since Jonathan was out.
Two of those guys, Chris and DeMarco, it's going to be their last game to play together. What example have they set as far as being teammates? It seems like they've been great teammates.
Yeah,
their careers.
They've been really neat to see. Just the two of them palling around together, just the friendship they have. But how they work together, they push each other. They're genuinely excited to see the other guy really do well. And I think it's fair that, you know, that between the two of them, they've really complemented each other well, and keeping each other healthy to some degree. I know DeMarco's had a few injuries here and there, but he has taken some of that load. You know, Chris has taken some away from him, and DeMarco's taken some away from Chris, and I think they've really complemented each other, you know, really well. And in particular, you look a year ago when they're 2,000-yard rushers. That doesn't happen a lot. And, it's pretty special.
DeMarco said that, and Chris said it too, is they've helped each other with their strengths. But Chris was, you know, a tough yardage guy. He's gotten a lot better at breaking long runs, and he said DeMarco helped him with that. And conversely, DeMarco with his, you know, running between the tackles, he said Chris has given him a lot of pointers about how to do it. Is that something you've seen?
Yeah, you know, very much so. When you're that close and watching practices together all the time, watching game films. You know, some of it's just the patience to wait for the seam to open at the right time, and, you know, those kind of things. And I'm sure that has happened with the two of them being that they're together all the time.
Well, I think you played a Pac-10 team like 7 out of the last 8 seasons. A couple of those in bowls, but is there a reason other than, you know, they just want to play you that you'd play some teams from that conference?
No, you know, Oregon just happened to be scheduled. Mr. Castiglione scheduled them, and then we happened to play them, you know, in the bowl. So it's just you have to play somebody. You know, you're scheduling from, you know, all over the country. We're just always trying to get good games.
You do play teams from major conferences, whether it be in season or out of or in the postseason. I mean, do you preach the conference pride thing at all, or, you know, revenue league and something like that?
To a degree, but in the end, does that truly motivate somebody? I don't know that it does. You know, in the end, you as an individual competitor and playing them, regardless of who you're playing or where you're playing them, you know, that to me that's more motivation than just a conference.
Bob, Stanford defensively, what do they like to do, or what are they
They give you your standard 4-3, or you get into heavy run formations. They'll kick into, we call an under front, or we label it eagle. But they'll move, put another guy up on the line of scrimmage. They're standard disciplined coverages in cover 4, cover 3. They'll get you in long yardage, get you in 2 deep a little bit, give you your zone blitzes, play 3 deep, play 2 deep. So just very structured, very disciplined. They play really hard, and they do a good job with it.
Some schools, like Michigan this year, started a true freshman quarterback. Is your offense too complicated to do that?
To start a true freshman at quarterback? I don't know that that would be the case. I think in the end, it's all young men are individually able to handle a load more so than others. I think it would depend on the person, the individual, and what we felt he could handle, and you would have to tailor it to some degree to what he's able to, what his strengths are, and what he's able to handle.
You have any thoughts on the Stanford quarterback picture? Who they're going to play? What the 2 guys represent? That kind of
no, I haven't really. It sounds as though Andrew Luck will not play. I mean, that's what we're assuming, but we don't anticipate seeing a different offense regardless of who's in there. So in the end, we always prepare for the offense, not the individual, and understanding though, depending on who it is. For instance, Oklahoma State, when they were talking about all of that, there is some degree of difference of the two in how much they'll run the quarterback, depending on who's back there. And so we're aware of that during the game, but I don't see that being the case, really with Stanford.
both guys seem to be mobile, right? But
to a degree,
but they don't necessarily use Luck so much in the run as the running
exactly.
option.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, Gerald announced his decision the other day. Would you talk a little bit about the player that he is and even more the person that he is?
Yeah, Gerald's just excited for Gerald. It's been an amazing individual and young man to be around here for 4 years. His character, he lifts everybody up he's around. He's been an amazing leader. Not many guys through here as a sophomore and junior are captains. And I'm speaking, I could go on and on for an hour, even not talking about his ability on the field. And then you put him on the field, and he has the strength and the quickness to be such a special player. And he's so well conditioned to play the whole game. And then he'll come out on Monday and run his sprints, and then jump in with the linemen and run or the O-linemen and run theirs. I mean, the guy's just a great athlete. But more than that, he's an amazing person. And so we're excited for him, and I'm excited because he's graduating, and he's already walked across the stage, and that's pretty special to do in 3.5 years, and so we're happy for him. He's left a great legacy here.
He and Adrian both spoke very highly of McFarland throughout the year when we'd ask about some of the younger D linemen. Is that a guy you foresee? He's
coming on and gotten a lot better. Stacy McGee here and through camp or through these period of time has come on, as well. So those guys just naturally, I think too much of the time when there's so much talk about a young recruit or a signee, people want to see it too soon or expect it too soon. And sometimes it takes a year or two to come to fruition and for them to grow and to figure it out, whatever, so, but he's progressing really well, and I think too many times you hear of, this guy's the next so-and-so. And, guys like Tommy Harris and Adrian Peterson are pretty unusual when everyone wants to, immediately they're ready to play. I mean, those guys walked in, and from day one you could tell they were different. Or they had the body of a guy that has been here for 3 and 4 years. And so anyway, I think too much. I think we expect that from far too many guys and want to see it happen too soon. But he's progressing really well. And yeah, we expect him to be a really good player.
Gerald needed a year to redshirt as well. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
A guy as good as Gerald.
Exactly. Just still needed a little bit of time, but then once they have it, then you see what you see what a special player he is.
So Jamarcus playing this year, is that a commentary on his skills, or maybe something about the lack of depth at that position, or did he just kind of grab it, seize it?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, now you're asking me to compare he and Gerald. I can't do that. So it's, he was capable of playing, as he did, and we played him. So I don't know how to put that to you.